and this is the 2025 Hyundai Palisade Urban, a trim level that sits in the middle of the Hyundai Palisades lineup and offers a sportier twist with some more advanced technology. Now in today's video, we're talking about
everything
you need to know, that is.
So whether you guys have just recently purchased this vehicle and you're wondering how everything works, or whether you just want a simple walkthrough because this is a part of your research, we're going to be covering all of the basis and all of the information that you need to know about this vehicle.
And the best part is we're using real human language because we are real human people. So it's not going to sound like someone's just reading the owner's manual out to you. We're doing this live streamed, so in real time, with no script, no fancy verbiage, just us, the car, and you guys watching live. Or in the future if you're catching this later. Charlotte, should we get right into it?
I think we should, but before we do that, if you guys haven't liked this video, please do so. And if you're new to the Kia Hyundai channel, we do videos every single day, so why not hit that subscribe button because it's free to do so.
We cover every single car we've ever had. So seriously, if you're not looking for the Palisade, maybe we've done something else you're after.
All right, let's go.
Charlotte, what's the price point of this car?
So the MSRP of this vehicle for the Urban, the 8-seater configuration, is $55,699 Canadian plus fees and taxes.
That's a very attractive price point because I know for me and the tech functions I think are must-haves, you get a lot of it in the Urban trim level. So you might be able to save yourself a couple $1,000s by getting this specific trim versus the ultimate calligraphy. Let's first start off with the exterior styling, then we'll work our way into the tech, the powertrain, and then we'll finish things off with the interior of the vehicle and then answer your questions. So for your front end, the Urban trim level will give you a nice, dark, blacked out grille. This definitely adds to the sporty flair, and paired with a nice, bright, metallic silver that we have on our exterior, I think it adds a beautiful contrast. Regardless, the Palisade really does pull off any exterior color, but this two-tone, very nice in my opinion. Your Hyundai emblem also has that same dark finish, so it blends in perfectly, however it still stands out. I like to call this the crocodile-esque skin front grille because it does kind of look like that to me, but some people might call it the cascading or waterfall style grille. Let us know what you guys call it in the comments. Some people just call it beautiful. Now for the main headlamp, we have full LEDs. Your main bulbs, your daytime running lights, your positioning lights, everything will be a bright white LED. Once we turn on our turn signal indicators and our hazards, you'll see, however, that we get a nice bright amber or orange style light. So very visible, fantastic to have. And then of course, that will operate both for turn signals and hazards. Check that out. Now one thing that this particular model does add on, and some people deem it as a must-have, is a full 360-degree camera. Now the front camera is located just underneath the H Hyundai emblem. You can kind of see it hidden there. And we actually have 4 exterior cameras throughout the car, 2 on the side, 1 on the front, and then of course 1 on the rear. Pieced together, they create a high definition camera image that looks like a drop-down viewpoint of your car. Very handy for parking, especially considering this is a larger vehicle, and we'll show you that when we hop inside. We also have forward-facing sensors. So we have 4 of them on the front end, 2 off to the side on each side, and then 2 more so faced in the center to give you some audible feedback when you are maneuvering this vehicle slowly. If you are someone who plans on towing with the Hyundai Palisade, I will give you the specs for the towing capacity in a few minutes, but you can turn off the rear parking sensors so it doesn't freak out every time you attach something to your hitch. Very, very valuable. The lower portion of your grille and bumper area is going to have a mix of regular black matte and then some gloss black finishes. In the very center, you'll notice we have our radar plate. That's going to be utilized for your smart cruise control that you can customize to make it even smarter, change things like the reaction speed. And it also has highway drive assist. This will be your introductory trim level to HDA or highway drive assist, meaning it's just a more advanced version of smart cruise control. It'll know the speed limit of the highway that you're on, adjust your steering inputs, as well as make sure you're always at a safe distance, regardless of if you hit stop and go traffic. All right, let's pop the hood next. We're going to talk powertrain. The Hyundai Palisade currently in its 2025 model year only has 1 powertrain option. Now that will change for the 2026 redesign. However, what we have here is not a bad option at all. It's a 3.8 liter V6, which is actually our largest engine in the Kia or Hyundai lineup. It produces 291 horsepower with 262 pound-feet of torque. Now with a naturally aspirated V6 like this, what you can expect is smooth, even, linear power. The ride of this vehicle is nice and quiet, provided you don't have screaming kids in the back. Just the general ride is very nice. And the power delivery is pretty constant, so it doesn't feel sluggish at all, but you're also not going to experience things like turbo lag. And of course, some people might be a little bit more traditional, old-fashioned, and much prefer a naturally aspirated engine. A lot of people think they are more reliable. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. Modern turbos are reliable, dependent on the car. All right, for your transmission, it's an 8-speed regular style automatic. So just like how we have regular naturally aspirated engines, we get a torque converter automatic, which means regular style gear shift, maybe not regular style in the sense of operation, but a regular automatic. No worries about dual clutches, no CVTs, no laggy shifts. It is just smooth shifting. Nothing to worry about. Just drive the vehicle and go. For your wheels and tire setup, we have a 20-inch black, gloss black that is, alloy wheel. This is a nice exclusive design to the urban trim level, and again matches perfectly with the accents we see on the front grille and throughout the car. Your tire is a Bridgestone Dueler tire, all-season tire that is. All of our vehicles do come standard with all seasons here in Canada. And then for the Hyundai Palisade, it's also standard with H-Track's all-wheel drive system. In simple terms, H-Track all-wheel drive is an automatic all-wheel drive, so the car will distinguish when is it time to incorporate more power to the rear. It's primarily going to operate in front wheel to conserve you fuel and just give you a general smooth ride with the power that you need. However, the sensors in the vehicle will detect if there's a little bit of slippage and put more power in the rear if you turn onto a gravel road, starts raining, or you're launching from a standstill. So the car will decide all of the technical functions. However, you as a driver do have the ability to change it yourself inside the, I was about to say climate control panel. Absolutely not.
The cabin.
Inside the cabin. Charlotte will show you the configurations for that, but what you need to know is there's a dedicated snow mode, mud mode, and sand mode that you can put your car in. And all of those settings will be pre-selected by the vehicle. Right over here, we have our rear view or side view mirrors. They do have your turn signal indicator both on the front for drivers ahead of you, and then off to the side so people beside your car or behind you can still get a little bit of the indicator glow. You also have the incorporation of blind spot detection. So that'll be that little caution icon that illuminates in your mirror every time there's a vehicle in your left or right blind spot. What we also add on with the urban trim level is a blind spot view camera. So this small camera positioned underneath your mirror will show you live footage of everything that's happening in your blind spot. Very handy if you're someone who frequently drives through busy cities and you're making lots of lane changes. It'll show you pedestrians on the sidewalk, cyclists in your blind spot, and of course, cars in your blind spot. It's also handy for the highway, just doing lane changes. You see everything and it doesn't distract you in any way. It's also something that can be shut off. For your door handles, both the driver and passenger front handles will have your proximity button. So as long as the smart key is somewhere on you, could be in your hand, your pocket, or your bag, you'll simply press the button to unlock your car and then press it again once you're done driving to lock it. Never have to dig for your keys. You never even have to see them if you don't want to. Up at the top, we have our gloss black roof rails, which not only match the exterior design of the car quite well, they are functional. They can actually hold just over 200 pounds of rooftop luggage. So whatever you decide to get, cargo carrier box, you can throw it up there. And 200 pounds, I feel like that's pretty capable. You could put a lot up there. And then off to our side, do you want to show the Hyundai sticker we have here? So this is actually one of our showroom cars. So there's a few stickers on it. It was kind of done up. But 94% of all Hyundai SUVs sold in Canada in the last 10 years are still on the road today. And while we didn't have the Palisade 10 years ago, we did have something called the Veracruz, which is kind of like the old version of the Palisade. It was a V6, it was all-wheel drive, it was a 3-row. We still see quite a few of those on the road today. Now, there wasn't a lot of them sold back then, but the ones that were, we all went traded in.
They're around.
It was awesome. I was actually really surprised with that car. Anyway, back to what I was gonna say. For the suspension, for the rear that is, all Hyundai Palisades will come standard with a self-levelizing rear suspension. Extremely handy if you are towing with this vehicle, won't create any sag, the car will adjust itself as needed. It's also a multi-link rear suspension too, so just your average day-to-day driving, better handling, better ride. Charlotte with the big yawn.
Sorry.
That's okay. Now along the back end of the vehicle, nice clean vertical lines. This is a larger car, so I do like how the sharp lines kind of keep it with that angular feel. It's very modern. The Palisade badging on the rear is chrome. Now this is my only real gripe with this exterior design. I don't know why they didn't match it to everything we had black up on the front, but that is something you could change if you wanted to. Wouldn't be that expensive. Anyway, let's go back to what it has. rear-facing parking sensors, so 4 of them throughout the back bumper to give you an audible alert when you are approaching anything while reversing. The towing capacity is 5,000 pounds, and you do have a dedicated tow mode in this vehicle that you can select the weight based off what trailer we're pulling. So if it's the largest trailer capable in this car, meaning you're maxing out the towing capacity, you'll put heavy weight. If it's moderate weight, there's medium. And if it's something light like a utility trailer, you can put it to lightweight. And the vehicle will change its gear shift patterns as needed, throttle response as needed too. So very smart. Let's open up our liftgate here. Uh-oh, car turned off. There we go.
Stand by.
It's not the car turned off. We left it on in electrical mode, so it wouldn't do it without me pressing the button. Anyway, we do have a power lift gate, so you can press it by the button next to your camera here, right over there. So there's a little soft touch handle that allows the vehicle to open its lift gate. The height is also adjustable. So you'd select whatever height your preference is, press and hold this button till it beeps, and that will save it as your height preset. For space back here, we have a ton of room with the rear seats down. Even with our third row up though, it is very, very usable cargo space, a lot on the vertical, and it's extremely wide. This vehicle also isn't too tall where it feels like you really have to lug things into it. It's a fairly good ride height, or cargo height, there we go. Underneath the floorboard, we have a fair bit of storage space. Now right now it is blocked off by our cargo cover. So this privacy screen can be taken out of here and actually installed if you're not using your third row. That way no one can peer through your back window to see what's back here. However, if you do have the third row up again, it's very convenient that it does fit under here. You also have your jack for your spare tire, and the spare tire itself is actually located underneath the car. This vehicle does have 5 years, unlimited kilometers of roadside assistance, and that's all throughout North America. So even if you go on a road trip to the States, something like that, you do still have coverage. Let's close this up. Actually, I should probably show you guys how to configure the seats. So come on under here. We've got one of our third row seats up right now, and everything is done powered. So you can see right over here, we have our second row separated by both left and right seat, and then our third row separated left and right again. Now, this particular model is the Urban with the 8-seat option. Something that's very interesting about this vehicle, the Palisade in general, and not the Kia Telluride, is the fact that you can choose a trim level like the Urban and opt for 8 or 7 seats yourself. On the Kia side of things, we only have 2 trim levels that have 8 seats, period. You can't choose whether you would like the captain's chairs or not. So for $500 extra, you can opt to remove the middle seat in the second row and get captain's chairs. Anyway, we have 3 seats back here, 2 of them with top tethers for car seats, and they power fold, so nice and easy to get them back down if they're not going to be in use. All right, the last thing I want to touch on for the exterior will be the fuel consumption and the fuel tank size. So it's a 71-liter fuel tank. You can open it up by pressing on the fuel door, and as long as the vehicle itself is unlocked, this will open. If this isn't opening, make sure your car is unlocked. Let's put that back. And then for highway driving, it's rated at 9.7 liters per 100 kilometers and 11.1 liters per 100 kilometers combined. So that's highway and city. Regular highway, of course, we can expect things to be a little bit better, but with the V6 powertrain and a large all-wheel drive 3-row SUV, it's not going to be our most fuel-efficient vehicle in our lineup. But you guys probably knew that. We knew that. You probably knew that. All right, I'll switch with Charlotte now. She's going to take you guys on a tour of the inside, and in the meantime, comment what you think about the styling of the vehicle.
If you're familiar with our channel at all, you know that I've always loved the Palisade. I think it's a great vehicle, especially when it comes to the interior. And what I love the most about the Urban trim is it has a lot of top features that you get to see on the mid trim, which is way better. So it's helping you save money instead of having to go up to the top trim. So let's start off by taking a look at the driver's side door. You'll notice we have a great mix of materials. We have a little bit of some chrome. We have some plastic. We have a flush, more graphite color plastic as well. But in terms of features, what are we getting? Great question. I'm so glad you asked. Is starting on this trim, we have the inclusion of memory seats, which is also going to go and save your mirror configuration as well, which is something that I really like. You're going to have 2 automatic or express and 1-touch windows, or 1-touch and obstacle detecting, my apologies, with regular automatic windows for everyone else. This is also going to be the start of when we see a premium sound system. So we have a Harmon Kardon sound system with 12 speakers in this vehicle. That's definitely a lot of speakers. Now, I spoke a little bit about the memory seats. In order to save the configuration, what you're going to do is you have your regular 8-way power adjustable seat here with 4-way lumbar support. So just simply configure it to a point where it's comfortable for you, and then you're going to be able to just simply press down and hold, and it's going to save that setting for you. The best part is you can actually link it to your user profile for a grand total of 2 per user profile, which really means you can save 6 saved settings. That's pretty impressive if you ask me. On this side, you have your brightness adjuster for your instrument cluster, your designated tone mode, so this is how you're able to quickly enable it, and then you can also adjust it in the head unit, your traction control, tailgate release, and electronic parking brake. So I'll actually close the tailgate for you. Nice premium door sills too, Palisade on them. I think that they look really good, and then I'll have Gabby come around and we'll talk about what else we have.
Side reflector there. So for our brakes, we get larger ventilated disc brakes up at the front and solid disc brakes in the rear. I believe they're 340 millimeters up at the front. Your Hyundai center cap is finished in chrome, very nice. And then just another quick look at the front end. Of course, with LEDs, not only do they look good, they're very, very modern, but they also last longer and are more efficient too. So you'll find yourself replacing lights less often on this car. Love the design and, of course, the utilization of the turn signal indicators too.
Oh, sorry, I turned them off.
Yeah, it's okay. Do you want to turn them back on for a second? So yeah, people from in front of you can see if you're indicating, and then people from the side and even the rear, there will still be visible glow.
When it comes to the seats, you're still going to have a powered passenger seat, so again, very comfortable for your passenger. And if memory serves, I believe it's 8-way power adjustable over here too. So again, super comfortable. These 2 main seats, again, heated and ventilated. So very comfortable. You don't have to go up to the top trim for it. Directly ahead of me, exactly where it's supposed to be, is our steering wheel. So got a little bit of extra spokage here, actually quite comfortable for highway driving too. And it is leather wrapped and heated. Over here, you're going to have a mix of your media controls, so virtual assistant, media modes, calling, and then if you press down on this, it's going to give you the option to go and select a favorites button, and you can pick any of the options that you have here. On this side, you're going to be able to enable that highway drive assist that Gabby mentioned, but then also you're able to adjust it on the fly for the speed, but then also the following distance to the vehicle ahead of you, and your lane keep and lane following systems as well. Behind the steering wheel, we have paddle shifters, so if you want to cycle through that 8 speed, you definitely can do so. And then you have your lighting stock and your wiper stock. Ahead of me, we have a 12.3-inch instrument cluster. It is fully digitized as well. And there, let me actually click on this. There you can see your digital speedometer and tachometer. If I press down on this notes icon located on the steering wheel, right there, it's going to give me different viewpoints in the center to see how the vehicle responds to me as the driver, my turn-by-turn navigation when I am using the vehicle's nav, the power distribution from that all-wheel drive system, and also your tire pressure. So lots that you can really see from here as a driver. You're pretty much seeing everything that the car is doing, which is exactly what you want. Multimedia screen, framed in piano black. It's 12.3 inches as well, and lots on here. You have integrated navigation. You have passenger talk, which is an in-car intercom system, perfect for these larger 3-row SUVs, so you don't have to shout all the way to the back. But if you want to cancel that out, you also have quiet mode. So with quiet mode, it's actually going to dampen the rear speakers. That way you can still enjoy your media up front, but if you have people snoozing in the back, you're not disturbing them. Rear climate, let's talk about that because it is so hot in here today. I don't know if you guys can pick up how much I'm sweating.
I'm dying.
But at 9 months pregnant, ooh, girl is toasty. All right, so let's talk about climate control. If I press on this, it is going to give me the option to actually lock rear climate control. We have multi-zone climate control in this vehicle. Multi-zone. So all of that is going to be able to be controlled through down here. You're going to have your regular climate control. It's set to rear right now. I'll get it off of that. So everything is going to be here. I just clicked it on into the rear again. That's fine. But dual zone climate control, which is really handy. And then of course you're going to have the controls in the rear as well. And then for CarPlay and connectivity, it is a wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Climate control, we already mentioned it's right down here. This is going to be more of driving convenience. You have a button style shift by wire for your gear shift. So if you are shifting, That's how you do it. You also have auto hold, and then here's going to be your drive and terrain mode select. So currently set to drive modes, you have comfort, eco, sport, and smart, and your terrain modes, snow, mud, and sand. Over here is downhill braking assist, your parking sensors, and of course that full 360 camera, which Gabby mentioned and showed you guys all of the cameras. Lots of viewpoints as well when it comes to the cameras, including a top-down viewpoint and angles from the mirrors. You have that full viewpoint as well. We do have a door open, so it looks a little bit skewed. And then if you take a look down here, it's going to be your cup holders, your USB for connectivity, and then your comfort controls here for your seats. I'm going to briefly turn the vehicle on. And then I'll also just show in here, you can see you have a 12 volt and a USB-C. I'll turn this on quick. And when the vehicle is turned on and you indicate a turn, it's going to pull up a live feed of what you'll have in your vehicle's blind spot. So that's going to be that that blind view monitor at work or those mirror mounted cameras. Turn that off. Put it back into accessory mode. Up top, we do have a sunroof. So definitely nice to get some airflow coming in. And then up here you have controls for BlueLink, so for emergency assistance or roadside assistance, and BlueLink is Hyundai's telematics system, so connectivity for your smartphone for preconditioning the cabin in terms of climate, using location services, everything like that. The last thing I'll point out is just going to be the fact that we do have rear occupant alert, and what is showing here is this will let you know which seatbelts in the second and third row are in use or who might be sitting there, also let you know which ones aren't. And that it is going to give you an alert based off of the ultrasonic sensors in the third row if it does detect any motion when the vehicle is locked, and it will do that by sending it to your phone with that BlueLink system. All right, I think that pretty much sums up what we have up here. Hopefully it seems pretty straightforward to you guys, but if you have questions, put them in the chat and we'll come back and answer them for you.
I'm just going to show this.
Oh my goodness.
We always seem to forget this. Just a little bit of underfloor storage.
And power. There's some power down there too.
So USB and 12 volts. All right, we got the 8-seater configuration today. Woohoo! So that means we have a bench seat back here. It is in a 60-40 split, and Gabby's moving the one back. So these seats are on a rail system, meaning you can bring them forwards or backwards. Very handy if you are configuring this with car seats, especially if they are rear facing. Some of the amenities that we do have back here is we have lights, rooftop mounted air vents, which again, fantastic for car seats in my opinion. And then the two main seats are also going to be heated. Here is the rear climate control, and like I mentioned, it is lockable from the front. That way the driver is still the one in control. You do have a 12 volt, and integrated into the back of the seats are going to be USB-Cs. You also have pockets, and if you take a look at the doors, you're going to have a manual sunshades. I always say that wrong. Did you know that the Palisade also, with the bench seat, has 16 cup holders in it? That's a lot of drinks. Ooh.
That's a lot of bottles of water.
I do like how they have a smaller cup holder too for skinnier cans, you know?
Yeah. But then you also have the drop down if you're not using this seat. So kind of crazy, eh? Pretty nice. You have convenience, or more so convenient entry, where it shoots forward for your second row, which makes it a lot easier to get into the third row.
Do you want me to do the third row? She's
okay.
got it.
It's powered, don't worry.
It's so
At least
easy.
I don't have to like, ugh, you know?
A pregnant lady could do it.
Yeah, 9 months pregnant, here I am. Okay. Gabby, can you seal me in, please?
Yes.
Thank
well,
you.
I can't on this side.
Okay, I'll do this side. So, okay. I have set this seat. Actually, you know what? Just shoot that one forward. It's fine.
Okay.
Thank you. I've set this one to go back as far as possible, but remember, they're on a rail system. So if you need more legroom back here, you can adjust it. That way there's more legroom. Third row for amenities, you still have rooftop mounted vents. Fantastic for the third row. And here's those sensors that are gonna act for motion detection with that rear occupant alert. Back here, we still have cup holders, which I like. And then you can go and actually adjust the amount of recline that these seats have. There's also USB-Cs back here too, and a speaker.
Cup holders.
Cup holders. I say cup holders, did I? I think.
I don't know.
Okay.
You said we got 16 of them.
Now, because I'm 9 months pregnant, something I like is the fact that this has easy grab access points. So there actually are handles integrated into the side. That way I can grab onto when I'm coming out or getting into the vehicle. Stay safe out there, everybody.
I might just get in and show that.
Yeah. I'm literally out of breath from that. Between the heat and the 9 months pregnant and climbing around, I'm like,
I know, I'm scared to flip the camera. I'm not feeling so,
I'm not feeling
so hot, but I am feeling pretty hot. Okay, let's answer some questions, see what you guys have to say about the Palisade. I think it was TRD Rat 4 earlier that said now is a great time to buy a Palisade, lots of good deals going around. And yeah, I do think right now is still a fantastic time to buy a Palisade. Yes, there is a new model coming shortly, but this is still a fantastic car. And if your household needs are you need seats, you need space, you need all-wheel drive, and you need towing capacity, I think this fits the bill perfectly. Also, technology. The urban trims specifically. The Palisade is fantastic in all its trims, but the urban just makes so much sense. It's really your gateway to all the luxe comforts like memory seats, ventilated seats, heated seats. But then you get the nice things like a 360 camera.
For the middle trim, this is packed
Yes.
packed with value, truthfully.
Absolutely.
And exactly for the reasons that Gabby mentioned. This has all of the features that I want, and I don't have to go up to the top trim, but I still get the extra seat.
TRD Rat 4 said +1 Gabby and get one before any tariffs hit. Yes, that's true. So this vehicle is manufactured in Korea specifically though, so it's tariff free, right?
If it's in Korea. I'm not 100% certain that this is made in Korea.
Might have to check
It
on
might
that.
be in the US.
See what the VIN says actually.
But if it's Korea, then yes. But Telluride's made in the US, so.
Yeah, manufactured in Korea.
Perfect!
Woohoo!
Tariff-free.
With that being said though, the Kia Telluride is manufactured in the States.
Yeah, that's the US.
As of right now, it's still tariff free though, for us.
Oh, all of the ones that have arrived have been tariff-free, correct?
What are the dimensions of the standard wheels and tires? So it is a 20-inch wheel, and let me read off the tire size to you. That I don't have off the top of my head. So let's try to focus in on this. So 245/50 R20s. And again, it is a Bridgestone Dueler. Check it out. Your wheel design again, so a nice gloss black finish. All right. Questions. Someone asked earlier about the paint. It's Typhoon Silver. This is my favorite paint color for the Palisade, actually.
I think it looks great.
Yeah, it looks very good. Actually, second favorite. First favorite's the emerald green. That one's very beautiful.
Yeah, the robust emerald.
Yes.
I saw a question, does Hyundai provide 5-year warranty and servicing with this? So they do have their standard 5-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty. They do not include complimentary servicing. However, if you do want to do any type of prepaid maintenance package, there are options available for that. What else was I going to say? There's another question I saw somewhere.
Ryan said green with tan interior. That is the best combination
Yeah,
on any
that's
car.
beautiful. It is beautiful.
Man, is there anything the Palisade doesn't have? LOL. Seriously. The one thing I can think of, and I did mention this earlier, not in the video, but to Charlotte,
Wireless.
this trim doesn't have a wireless phone charger.
So yeah, so it which is odd that it doesn't, but it's not a deal breaker for me because this has wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you know, for someone like myself and Gabby, we're always using CarPlay if it's there. So that's not really a deal breaker because it's still charging your phone. But then there's also so many different outputs for charging. Like there's a USB-C, you could use a 12 volt.
Yeah.
You have multiple different options that you can use too, even if you don't want to use phone connectivity.
There's a spot for each passenger to plug in their phone, so no one will have to fight for it. Now
Yeah.
you just got to fight for the cords. Hopefully you have enough cords for the amount of ports that this car has.
Does it have heads-up display? So this trim does not, but if you go up a trim, heads-up display is available, yes.
Do you ladies know about the longevity of the pano sunroof? Should I use it as often as I want, or should I try to be careful?
I wouldn't use it in the winter.
Every single vehicle I've had, except for my truck now, and I guess the Firefly, has always had a sunroof. My Optima had a panoramic roof. My other vehicles just had a regular sunroof. I love sunroofs. I had mine open in the winter, had mine open not in the rain.
Okay,
Tilted, yes. I've always loved having my sunroof open. I can't drive my car without the sunroof open. And I've never had any issues. Some people complain about their sunroofs leaking. That's totally possible. It's just never something I've ever dealt with.
I've
and
only
it's-
ever seen, oh sorry, I cut you off, go ahead.
It's something that we don't see come through our service department that much.
So the most like maintenance I've seen that a sunroof has needed is like lubrication on it. And even then,
Squeaky.
it just like is a little squeaky or it doesn't quite go back all the way. So you're like, oh, okay. You take a look at it, you're like, yeah, it looks dry. So then you lubricate it and it's fine.
I do think sunroof is something that you should open every once in a while, just to, you know, make sure it's working fine.
Like friction braking?
Yeah, and get it moving. But using your sunroof frequently isn't going to ruin your sunroof.
Henry said, what is the towing capacity of the Palisade Urban? Does it come with a factory installed tow hitch? So 5,000 pounds is going to be the maximum with trailer brakes. This does not come standard with a factory installed hitch. However, the 2026, depending on the trim, is going to have that option.
Yeah.
It's hot in here, yeah. I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
Also, this is not the last call for a V6 on the Palisade.
No.
However, it is the last call for the 3.8 liter V6. The 2026 will get a 3.5 liter, or if you get the hybrid, it's a 2.5 liter turbo
Yes.
hybrid. Yeah. So 2.5 liter turbo hybrid going forward, or a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6.
Adele said, I read somewhere that the 2026 Palisade has a built-in dash cam. True or false? It's true. It is going to be available on select trims. I believe only the Ultimate
Palisade.
Calligraphy.
I said,
the
it's the Palisade.
You're so right about that.
I wasn't wrong.
But yes, yeah, dual channel dash cam, so audio and video. Slay.
Yeehaw.
I think that's pretty much it.
All right, you guys, it's 31 minutes. We're dying. It's 31 degrees Celsius. So it's time to
So
end off
hot.
today's video.
We will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please like this video if you haven't. Please subscribe if you haven't. See you next time. Bye.